Welcome to From the Trainers Tower. We are back for another season. You can stop riding your local members. We've listened. Racing.com have got us back. Ed Sadler. Well, I'm Sam Lyons. This man's Ed Sadler. He's the one who's been out all week talking to our industry participants, our trainers, our jockeys, so we can bring you the news of the upcoming week ahead. Thanks for joining us. It's always great to sit on the love couch with you, Ed.
It's good to be on the couch too. First time we've been on the couch for a little while here, Sam. So looking forward to what we've got coming up. This is the entree, really, this Saturday into the Festival of Racing. From next week, we've got the Group 1s right through in Victoria until the end of March. But this is the nibblies before the main course, if you like, this week. Yeah,
a little bit of entree as we get ready to head into what promises to be a big autumn carnival. Some big names returning. Jimmy Star, we're going to hear a little bit about him during the show as well. Any highlights for you over the last couple of weeks? Before we get in, we've got a little bit of time.
We do. Highlights from the last few weeks. I think Big Sky's been the horse that's captured my attention, what he's been able to do. And I think just that potential that he's got. Mick Price, Michael Kenton Jr., they look so well placed in the two-year-old features here for this Festival of Racing. But he's doing a number of things wrong, Big Sky, yet still winning. So that's very exciting.
So we might have a little bit of a horse to follow for the autumn at the back end of this show as well. So have a think about it. We'll get there. But first, let's rip in. Now, you spoke to Ethan Brown. That was this morning. He's got a good book of rides coming up on Saturday. And he's obviously going to be partnering the great Jimmy Star during the autumn as well.
Yeah, exactly. So this has been the horse, Jimmy Star, that's really been a big asset for the last 12 months in Ethan Brown's career, taking him to that Group 1 level on a regular basis. He'll follow him wherever he goes, but he was having his first proper piece of work this morning at Caulfield with Ethan aboard. Ethan, busy morning here at Caulfield. Jimmy Star, how did he feel?
Yeah, he felt great. He's come back in good order. That was his first bit of proper work, so I was pretty easy on him. But yeah, he's bright and well and good in his action, and he's in for a good prep again, I'm sure.
I'm sure you're excited to be aboard him this prep. He just seems like he keeps on getting better as time goes on.
Yeah, he proved that his last two preps. He's getting better with age, and yeah, he's showing no signs of going backwards.
You're back here for the races on Saturday. Invicto runs in the Blue Diamond Prelude. What did you think of the run of the preview? Good
run. He's still very raw and green. I expect him to take a lot of benefit out of that. His gallop yesterday was good. I expect him to be a more mature horse, so to speak, heading into Saturday. And if he does take that step up, he'll be competitive.
Portinari, I know you haven't ridden her before, but the Hazes, they're very good two-year-old trainers, so I'm sure that gives you some degree of confidence.
Yeah, they asked me to they have a few in the race and asked me to ride Portinari, and yeah, as you said, they're great two-year-old trainers, so took the opportunity. She looks to have trialled up well. I've never sat on her, but yeah, backing in the stable. She's a well-bred horse, a good owner, so she ticks a lot of boxes.
Have you got your Blue Diamond ride locked in, or does Saturday determine that?
I was relying on Angel's Fury a bit there, but yeah, things went pear-shaped, but nothing as of yet. Yeah, things can change pretty quick, but hopefully something pops up soon.
The Derby winner, Observer, he's back this weekend. You've jumped him out. What sort of feel did he give you?
Yeah, good. I thought his gallop yesterday was a lot sharper than what he's probably shown at the trials. He'd been a bit relaxed, which I suppose 3-year-olds can do that after getting out to a Derby trip. So he's come back more mature. But yeah, his work yesterday was very convincing, and I think he'll be sharp enough for 14 first up.
Have you got him booked for the rest of the campaign, or is it just a run-by-run basis at this stage?
See how we go. I believe I'm booked up till the Guineas, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Have you just told Mark, you just rest that leg, give yourself some time, mate?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate what happened to Mark, but look, I'm happy to take the opportunities as they come, and yeah, I know where I stand. He's obviously had a lot of success with the horse in the past, and yeah, what will be will be.
Light infantry man, a horse you know well, he'll be returning this weekend?
Yeah, for sure. He's going great, I reckon. All his work's good. His mindset is outstanding. Like, he can be a bit of a hot, revvy sort of horse, but he's very relaxed his time in. Trial was great, so he ticks a lot of boxes. He's obviously going to want further than the mile, but I think he'll run a bold race.
Compare him to last year when he did have a really good autumn. Can you draw any comparisons?
Not really. I think he got better towards the end of last prep, and he's carried that on through this prep. So, yeah, if he keeps that up, there's another good race in him, that's for sure.
Well, he's got some good horses coming back, doesn't he? Observer, great to see that good horse coming back. And no ride in the Blue Diamond. You would expect that, though, as they get a little bit closer, Ethan Brown would have to be a chance of picking one up, wouldn't you?
Oh, definitely. I just think there's nothing that he's been booked in for at this point in time. Angel's Fury obviously had that issue, pulled up lame, finished last in the preview. So Saturday will determine that. This is a horse I'm very excited about, though, Sam, for this autumn. Observer, the Derby winner. He won the Vase before this. He's unlucky, really, not to win the Caulfield Guineas. For mine, he's got a touch of the Hitotsus about him.
Yeah.
I can see him winning an Australian Guineas. I can see him winning an Australian Derby if they go in that direction this autumn. Just looking at some of the futures markets, I just wonder, though, 1,400 first up for a horse first up after a Derby.
And after a Derby. And as we heard from Ethan there, nice and relaxed this time in, which is what you expect.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be expecting him to go out there and whack them. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to need this run a little bit.
Yeah, I would have thought him and Light Infantryman, the futures markets, obviously before acceptances. I think for mine, they've come up a little bit short. They're classy horses. We know that classy horses get up on that edge they've got on their opposition. But I just think they could be vulnerable first up over unsuitable distances, and then they're going to be building on towards more suitable races. Light Infantryman, particularly in a year where you've got no Via Sistina.
Yep.
Serdelius, you would think, is probably going to stay in Sydney. He's a nice Australian Cup horse to go back-to-back in the race.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. There's that real window open in that medal distance at the moment, isn't there? And also, at his best, is very, very good. And the fact that he's, Ethan Brown and the team are very happy with the horse coming through as well. Do you make much of the two-year-olds that Ethan Brown's talked about there as well?
I think Invicto's one to follow because he's going to improve on whatever he did. He'll have taken benefit from that experience. So I'd expect a better performance from him. Still really learning about these two-year-olds, and Saturday will be a great guide as we get that little bit closer towards the Blue Diamond. Jimmy Starr, nothing too serious. He was the star act of the Caulfield Track Gallops they had on Tuesday morning, pardon the pun, but he had that class factor, that aura about him. Not a lot asked of him, but he's early on in his preparation. He will be running at Caulfield for his first up run. The William Reid Stakes this year with no Moonee Valley is going to be held at Caulfield, so he heads there on the 21st of March, then towards the TJ Smith Stakes and 1,400, the all-aged third up for him, a race that he was able to win last year. He interests me because I wonder, they're going the Everest path ultimately for this year, but if the Everest wasn't worth what it's worth, what actually is his best distance? Is he that get-back run-on sprint, or could he even be a really good miler if they were training him for that?
He's almost most certainly a better 1,400-metre horse, I think, than he is probably a 12. But he's just so electric that you have to go after those races, don't you? So yeah, it is interesting if the carrot wasn't there. And you could say this about a few horses. We won't digress too much here. There's a few horses that have had their career trajectory changed because of the Everest. So he wouldn't be the first. But anyway, let's keep moving because we've got another trainer of one of our stars that we're going to see soon, but also a pretty good youngster coming through is Clayton Douglas, and you caught up with him.
Clayton, top reward. We've just seen him gallop. How was he?
Yeah, good. He had a lead horse this morning and sort of worked over 6 furlongs and started in the last sort of 600 nicely, and really happy with how he's worked. He's obviously nice and forward for a first up run, and looking forward to Saturday.
He won his maiden well, then you put him into stakes grade at his second start. Clearly you've got a good opinion of him.
Yeah, very lovely colt. He's got a really good brain about him. He's got nice ability. It was good to get those couple of runs into him in the spring, and he's come back a more furnished colt now, and yeah, we'll probably sort of after today step him up to 1,800 sort of second up, which should be more suitable for him, but he's a lovely clean-winded horse, and looking forward to seeing how he goes first up.
So could he be a Derby colt?
Yeah, he could be, yeah, absolutely. Sort of take each run as it comes, but yeah, plenty of options for a horse like him, especially kicking off over 1,400. You know, like I say, there's options over the next sort of 8 to 12 weeks. It's going to be perfect for him, and as long as he sort of steps up to the mark, we'll sort of keep putting it to him.
And over 1,400 first up for a horse you think will be better over further. What are your expectations?
Oh, I'd probably like to just see him running well. He's got nice speed, he's got good gate speed, so I wouldn't think he'd be too far away, but there might be something that might be a little bit sharper than him on Saturday, but going forward, he's a horse to look out for.
Mr Waterville, interesting horse who's joined your stable. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, he's a new addition. He's trialled well here last week, and got him in the Colac Cup on Friday. I've also got him in the mile here Saturday, but to me, he's probably a horse that wants to sort of kick off for me over 10 furlongs. I think that'll be more suitable. He's a little bit of a tricky horse. Like his work was pretty average when he first arrived, but he's sort of picked up now, and his work this morning was really good. So, yeah, he has got the ability, but probably just wait and see how he goes first up.
And I can't do an interview with you without asking about Giga. Since last week, how's he been?
Yeah, good. He stayed home this morning and just had to work on the course proper at Mornington, and rode him myself. Worked great. He's sort of ticking all the boxes and come through last week's trial here in good order. So looking forward to Saturday week.
Interesting, Mr. Waterville, that runner, isn't it? He's had a little bit of time now here in Australia. No success for the Wally Yard. New stable. What we do see with some of these staying types, particularly when they come over from overseas, they can take even a couple of years to really start to find their feet. So hopefully some hope for that horse yet. Was there a little bit of confidence in the stable at all, maybe off camera?
I think just wait and see with him come Friday. It sounds like he'll be kicking off in the Colac race, the Colac Cup to look forward to on Friday. Top Reward's an interesting horse. He's going to be first up. Sounds like more of a derby type of horse, thrown in the deep end. Second up in the Sandown Guineas, placed behind She's Alibi. She looks superb. Question marks over the opposition out of that Sandown Guineas. So where he's at, time will tell. But the fact that Clayton did run him in such a race at just his second start after winning a maiden does speak volumes about the horse. So Clayton taking Mr. Waterville to the Colac Gold Cup. If Clayton needs a pie on the way to Colac, where should he go?
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, probably don't go to Colac, because there were a couple of bakeries there. But if you can get through Inverleigh on the way there, if that's a bit of a run through there, you can happily do. Have snuck a couple on the way there, my friend. But,
okay, I knew I was asking the right person that question.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, time for a break now from the Trainer's Tower. So don't go anywhere. There's plenty more to come, including good chats to Kieran Maher and Mick Price and the Mick Price Kent team in Michael Kent Jr. Welcome back to From the Trainer's Tower. Time now to get into a little bit more of our interviews that the man next to me and Andrew Eddy has done during the week. Now, the Mick Price and Michael Kent Jr. team have got some very, very good two-year-olds at the moment. No question at all about that. And Andrew Eddy caught up with Michael Kent Jr. during the week.
Talking about Group 1s, you'll have a couple of chances probably this weekend to build their way to a Group 1. Obviously, guest house in the Prelude for Colts. He's done everything right so far.
Yeah, he's learning. Like, Cranbourne was not the right track or setup for him, but timing-wise it suited us, and very tight course. He did a fair bit wrong, but since then we've seen a real change on the horse. He was allowed some time out of the stable, and Olivia East rides him every morning, doing a wonderful job. He just keeps getting more and more tractable, and I think you'll see a really nice horse on Saturday. He trialled super here last Monday. He's an out-and-out two-year-old type. Like, he's big, strong, good bone, good feet, got a great temperament. So we really like him, and hopefully we see a good colt on Saturday.
We've already seen Space Rider, a 3-year-old of yours, begin his campaign really well, and you're hoping the same for Planet Red, the Caulfield Guineas place getter, when he runs first up this Saturday?
Yeah. Yeah, different sort of horse to Space Rider. Space Rider's a big, robust colt, needs a bit of work. Planet Red's a bit of a sinewy gelding, so we're close to paying up with him in the Manfred. Decide to keep the fuel in the horse and just give him one run into the Guineas. So he'll go fresh this Saturday in the Autumn Stakes, and then allows 3-week gap into the Guineas, which is lovely for that horse. He was a very big run in the Caulfield Guineas. The winner's a good horse clearly, but he got the sort of right run, one out sort of inside, and we were back and wide and just kept coming. So I thought it was a big effort by the horse. It took a lot out of him. So, but he's come back an improved product. He's definitely bigger and stronger, and all the usual stuff trainers say. But he's going really well. His trials haven't been as sharp as last preparation, but all the feedback from Trackwork is he's going fantastic. He looks enormous, and I think 14 fresh up, he'll run really well Saturday.
And the lack of sharpness, is this suggesting that he might get over a bit of ground this time?
Yeah, well, he's sort of bred to, we feel. The way he was strong past the post in the Guineas. So look, post the Australian Guineas, maybe that gives us options to go 2,000 metres in Sydney. But at the moment, our focus is definitely second up Australian Guineas.
Where do you think he sits in the Guineas market at the moment? As in your Guineas market?
My Guineas market, yeah. I'm glad I'm not a bookmaker because I'd be broke essentially, Sab. So I would say he's not quite where I've got a horse like Observer, but he did come a long way in a short space of time last preparation. He's got further upside. So he's open to greater improvement and he could get there potentially, but he wouldn't be my top pick for the Guineas at this point.
And of the Price Kent 2-year-olds, because that's the question at the moment, isn't it? Which team are you in?
I'm Big Sky.
Yeah, me too. I think I'm Big Sky too. I just thought it was a pretty furnished product job on the weekend, wasn't it?
It was. And the other thing is Guesthouse has done it just once at Cranbourne.
Yep.
Christmas time, perhaps not as strong as when you move closer towards the Diamond this time of year. Look, I could be proven wrong and he's jumped out really well, and I think in his interviews Mick Price is more lent towards Guesthouse.
He's entitled to jump out well though too. Rock hard fit.
Yeah, not a long space between that race at Cranbourne and that jump out. But yeah, if I'm picking a team, I'm Team Big Sky.
Yeah, Team Big Sky as well. Team Big Sky as well.
It's always good to be on your team, Sam.
Mate, I love being on your team, on your couch, on your team. Robbie Griffiths, he's got a couple of 2-year-olds as well, and that are well placed. Andrew Eddy spoke to him.
Robbie Griffiths. We're looking forward to the Blue Diamond coming up in a couple of weeks, and you've got 3 horses still in the running for the race. 2 we'll see this weekend. Can you tell us about them? Almost an Angel, the first one.
Yeah, Almost an Angel surprised us, winning a 2-year-old in general, being a So You Think, but certainly winning it so early in the year. So we had one more run, didn't have a lot of luck, and then we tucked her away, and she had an easy jump out this morning with Luke Nolan on board. And she heads to the 1100 fillies Prelude on Saturday. So Saturday's a big day for her to see whether she's sharp enough to warrant staying in the series and heading towards the big one, or whether she goes a different pathway and stretches out in distance. But she's in good order and she trialled well this morning.
And the last one is a filly that we saw jump out this morning. She looked quite stylish, a filly called Portland Rose.
Yeah, she's a really lovely filly, Portland Rose. I'm sure she'll have a great future ahead of her. Whether it's all come about too soon and, whether she's ready to be a good racehorse on Saturday in the Prelude's a question. But she's certainly got the right talent as far as we're concerned. She's only been out the barriers twice but handled herself really well. She was very sharp out of them this morning, travelled well the whole trial and seems to have pulled up in good order. So her dad was a very fast horse, winning the Oakley Plate at Caulfield. And her half-sister was stakes placed as a young horse as well. So I think that she's got the right ingredients to go down that pathway, and Saturday's going to tell us where she ranks amongst the 2-year-olds.
Welcome back to From the Trainer's Tower. Now, we heard from Ethan Brown a little bit earlier, and one man he's been riding a lot for is obviously the Kieran Maher team, Ed. Now, let's hear the other side of the story. Andrew Eddy caught up with Kieran.
Your Derby winner, Observer, had a gallop this morning. How's he progressing towards the Guineas?
He'd come back just a little bit more casual, just grown up a little bit, and he was a lot more relaxed, which was good because he was sort of quite on it in the spring. And I needed to see a sharper bit of work from him before racing, and he did that this morning. He worked with another stablemate, and it was quite sharp. So he'll kick off in the Autumn Stakes, 1400, with a view to having him pretty right for the Australian Guineas, and then he can progress up to Sydney.
And it's early autumn, so it's 2-year-old season. You've already had a nice dip at a big prize with the Magic Millions Unit 5. He's down here to run in the Blue Diamond. You've got a few other fringe horses you might be trying to get in as well?
Yeah, Invicto will run this weekend in the Prelude. And Shah Jahan is unraced, but trialled up well. He could take his place as well. We've got a couple of fillies with Calamari Ring and Garners at Khan heading for the Millennium this weekend as well in Sydney. So, yeah, 2-year-olds, they've been hitting their mark pretty well this season, so hopefully that can continue.
So, Calamari Ring going to the Millennium, and then they said Willennium. That was a throwback to our 90s Will Smith music. Do you remember that?
You're that little bit older than me, so this is where the age cap appears on the show.
Sorry, but also interesting to hear Kieran's side with Observer too, because another comment around how much more relaxed he is this time in, and the fact that he wanted to see that sharper piece of work from him, which he has seen now, is interesting ahead of the Autumn Stakes.
He's coming to the races at the right time, isn't he? Because they weren't 100% satisfied with his jump out last week. A week on, he's worked well on Monday at Cranbourne. He's back at the races on Saturday. as I said, he's the best horse in that race coming up on Saturday. I just wonder, though, is this when he's going to be most vulnerable, this preparation?
$2.30, a touch short. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Anyway, now, if we've spoken to Kieran, it wouldn't be a chat with Kieran at the moment without talking about Pride of Jenny, would it? Let's go back and hear what he has to say about his superstar mare.
She's in very good order, actually. Galloped this morning, and she is going to jump out next week, all going well. Very happy with her condition. She looks fantastic. Her demeanour's good. You know, the way she's applying herself to her work is just the same as normal. So everything's in good order. All-Star Mile might be an option. But we'll see how she jumps out next week.
She does go well fresh when you get her onto the track finally. She really does fire up, so you probably want to pick a good race for a first up.
Yeah, since we used to kick her off at 1400 and she got beat, I think, every time first up. But since then, going 1800 and a mile, she's been quite effective. So, yeah, all signs are very positive at this stage.
Well, an All-Star Mile, you'd expect her to be well placed in, wouldn't you? And she'll be a draw card in a race like that as well. And well, that's it for the main body from the Trainers Tower for our first week back. It's been lovely. But before we go, I teased it at the top of the show. I said to you, Edward, give me a horse to follow for the autumn. What have you come up with?
Well, I've been pumping up Observer on the show this week, but we're wanting to look beyond it this week, and I thought Treasure of the Moment did a super job under the circumstances. In the spring, she had a super 3-year-old season, and the way that she was able to win the Memsie Stakes here first up last spring, she looked like she could be anything. Then she had that colic setback. She was brave under the circumstances to still return and then to run third in the Cox Plate. I think if she can have a injury-free, healthy preparation, she could be anything, this mare from the Matt Laurie stable. She's going to kick off, I believe, in the Futurity Stakes, then head towards the All-Star Mile where she would clash with Pride of Jenny. But her at her best, I'm looking forward to seeing her, and I think that she'll take a power of beating whatever she runs in.
Agreed. For me,
Go for
Point
it.
Barrow. Point
Okay.
Barrow, the 3-year-old filly. I think she's a star. I think she'll win the Oakley Plate. I think she was so good in the Red Roses. I think if they had gone to a Coolmore, she would have been good as well. But she's the one for me. She's a filly with plenty of upside. She's untapped. She's got an electric turn of foot. It was great to see Stacky in the saddle, but I think Jamie Mellon might end up getting that ride back there, and she'll be one that you want to follow through. Another horse who I think it's an easy one to pick, but I thought deserves a nice mention as well, Jimmy Starr. I think he will just tear through the autumn. I think he is a superstar on the rise, and Jimmy Starr's going to do some big damage. He could win those. He could win all 3 of those Group 1s.
Yeah, I think the sprints are going to be so good this autumn. So bring them on, Sam.
All right, that's it from the Trainers Tower this week. We'll see you next week.